WWE is the biggest wrestling company in the world. Starting from humble beginnings, it has become a global sensation, generating billions of dollars in revenue. However, the journey hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, as throughout its long history, the company has faced financial problems, public backlash, and scandals. In this video, we will explore some of WWE's darkest days.
Shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer.
Examining the challenges and controversies that nearly brought the company to its knees. The COVID-19 pandemic had a severe impact on businesses worldwide, and WWE was no exception. With the focus shifting to banning events that would cause crowd gatherings, WWE and the wrestling world had to close their doors to a live audience. With the cancellation of live events and dwindling revenue streams, the company's management was forced to make drastic cost-cutting decisions. This culminated on April 15, 2020, a day that would come to be known as Black Wednesday, when the company announced a significant number of layoffs. This event marked one of the largest mass releases in WWE history, affecting more than 100 wrestlers and staff members combined. The list included big names such as Kurt Angle, Rusev, Gallows and Anderson, EC3, and many more, including referee Mike Chioda, who had worked with the company for 35 years. Wrestlers took to social media to vent their frustrations and disbelief at losing their jobs.
It's not about a title anymore, it's about my life. It's about feeding my family, paying my bills. So if I don't make an impression, if I don't win, that's it for me.
As the corporation was criticized by the wrestling community because, despite turning in massive profits and being financially well off, WWE still laid off many workers to maximize profits and please shareholders. WWE had long been dealing with questions and accusations from the media regarding its drug policy and steroid abuse, decades before implementing the wellness policy.
I let him sleep in the house, I gave him food, and in return, he gave me steroids. He showed me how to use steroids.
At a time when restrictions on steroid use were lax, the corporation employed doctors who would prescribe whatever the wrestlers asked for. Doctors such as George Zahorian supplied superstars with whatever they needed to stay in shape. In the 1990s, as stricter rules began to be implemented by Congress, Zahorian came under scrutiny for drug trafficking and was asked to help prosecutors target Vince McMahon. In 1993, Vince McMahon was indicted on counts of drug trafficking, charges that could have resulted in years of imprisonment. This period marked one of the darkest days for WWE, as the company faced the potential of losing its chairman to legal repercussions. Vince even prepared his wife, Linda McMahon, to take charge of the company if the worst came true. However, McMahon won the case and continued as the head of the company for decades to come, steering WWE through various challenges and controversies.
To be a WWE fan because we are announcing the launch of the WWE Network.
On February 14, 2014, WWE made one of the most significant financial decisions in its history by launching the WWE Network. This move marked a dramatic shift from the company's traditional business model, where fans paid separately for each show and pay-per-view event. Instead, WWE introduced a subscription-based streaming service that offered all its content for a flat monthly fee. This transition involved considerable risk, as WWE bet heavily on the new model to drive future revenue. Initially, the company struggled to attract the expected number of subscribers, causing financial strain. Compounding the issue, WWE's new television deal with NBC Universal fell short of investor expectations. The deal, while an improvement over the previous agreement, did not deliver the substantial revenue boost that had been anticipated. The culmination of these factors led to one of the most dramatic stock crashes in WWE's history. On May 16, 2014, WWE's stock price plummeted more than 40% in a single day, marking one of the darkest days in the company's history. This severe drop in stock price significantly affected Vince McMahon's net worth, reducing him from a billionaire to a multimillionaire overnight. Despite this challenging period, WWE managed to recover. The WWE Network eventually gained traction, achieving a strong subscriber base and generating substantial revenue. This successful transition to the streaming model, combined with other strategic initiatives, led to record-breaking profits and a resurgence in the company's financial health.
WWE superstar Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their son Daniel are dead.
The wrestling world was shaken when news broke of Chris Benoit's death. But soon, their grief turned to shock as the truth behind the tragedy unfolded. WWE initially aired a tribute episode on Raw to celebrate Benoit's life and legacy, with fellow superstars expressing their love and respect for Chris. However, as more details emerged, it was revealed that Benoit's wife, Nancy, and their son, Daniel, had been murdered, with Chris Benoit being the prime suspect. This revelation cast a dark cloud over the corporation's functioning, as WWE quickly found itself embroiled in controversy.
During his family, how did we know that Chris Benoit would turn into a monster?
Media outlets and journalists criticized the company's practices, suggesting they may have contributed to the tragedy. This scrutiny led to a federal investigation into WWE's handling of performers' well-being. The company faced a storm of negative publicity and entered a defensive phase. In response to the crisis and to restore its image, WWE removed all references to Benoit from its programming.
Therefore, other than my comments, there will be no mention of Mr. Benoit's name in this program.
As WWE was already struggling with its image following the Chris Benoit tragedy, they faced another major setback in 2007. Police discovered that Signature Pharmacy was illegally distributing steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs to various professional athletes, including many former and current WWE superstars. Some of the most prominent wrestlers implicated were Chavo Guerrero, Edge, Randy Orton, John Morrison, Maga, William Regal, and several others. WWE had no choice but to suspend most of these wrestlers for about a month. Mr. Kennedy, another wrestler on the list, had recently vouched for the WWE wellness policy in an interview, claiming he was steroid-free because of it. This revelation proved his claims false, further damaging WWE's reputation. The scandal led to a congressional investigation into WWE's drug policies and prompted WWE to publicly name violators of their wellness policy starting November 1, 2007. All the mounting pressure and negative publicity ultimately led WWE to adopt a TV PG rating the following year. The WWE experienced one of its darkest days on November 13, 2005, with the tragic passing of one of its most beloved stars, Eddie Guerrero. At just 38 years old, Guerrero's untimely death sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Despite having successfully battled his addictions, Eddie's heart ultimately gave out due to the long-term effects of substance and steroid abuse. In a heartfelt tribute to Eddie's legacy, WWE dedicated the following week's episodes of Raw and SmackDown to honor him, putting all ongoing storylines on hold. These special episodes featured emotional tributes from fellow wrestlers and heartfelt moments celebrating Eddie's life and career.
I am just gonna miss I love you and I'll never forget you. And I will see each other again. I love you, Eddie.
Guerrero's death served as a catalyst for significant change within WWE. It prompted the company to take a hard look at the health and well-being of its performers, leading to the introduction of the WWE wellness policy in February 2006. Mr. McMahon and WWE are almost synonymous, so it's not surprising that any negative events involving the chairman would negatively affect the company's image.
To have a female dog and that did everything I told her to do. Now, damn it, get out! Oh, that's just too much.
McMahon, the longtime chairman of WWE, has been embroiled in multiple scandals before, with one of the most recent ones in June 2022, where he stepped down from his position amid investigations into allegations of sexual misconduct and hush money payments, totaling nearly $19.6 million to several women over the years. After a brief hiatus, McMahon returned to WWE in January 2023, leveraging his controlling interest to orchestrate a merger between WWE and UFC, creating TKO Group Holdings, where he served as executive chairman. However, Vince soon faced another lawsuit that would turn his life upside down. In 2023, shortly after WWE announced a lucrative $5 billion deal with Netflix and the appointment of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to the TKO board, former WWE employee Janet Grant filed a lawsuit against Mr. McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis. The lawsuit included severe allegations towards Mr. McMahon, such as forcing Grant into a sexual relationship to secure her job and sharing compromising images and videos of her with others in the organization. To save the company's reputation, Vince had to step down yet again and was forced to retire. It's doubtful if we will ever see him again in a WWE show. One of the most tragic incidents in wrestling history occurred during the Over the Edge pay-per-view event in 1999, when an accidental fall claimed the life of Owen Hart.
Responsibility to let everyone know that Owen Hart has died.
Scheduled to face the Godfather under his blue blazer gimmick, Hart was to make a dramatic entrance from the rafters. However, a malfunction in the descent mechanism caused Owen to fall approximately 78 feet to the ring below. In a highly controversial decision, the show continued despite the horrific accident, drawing widespread criticism and placing WWE under intense scrutiny.
First of all, I resent your tone. It's a tragic accident. Don't try and put yourself in the spotlight here, okay?
Owen Hart's wife, Martha, was understandably devastated and subsequently filed a wrongful death lawsuit against WWE. This legal battle proved to be grueling, involving multiple lawsuits and countersuits. After nearly 18 months of litigation, Martha Hart and WWE reached an $18 million settlement in the wrongful death lawsuit in the year 2000. Although significant, the settlement could have been even larger had WWE been found guilty in court. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to WrestleFaction for more awesome wrestling content.